Question 6. This is again a use of a crosstab from a query. So in the previous question we did do a crosstab from a query. So here's just another one. But just in this question there's something else we have to do in a query as well. So remember we said that in queries you're either going to search for specific records or create a new field. So this one has a new field which we have to make, and then we're going to put it into crosstab form. So create a query which contains the dive number, boat name, and a new calculated field called name. So this we do in a query, creating a new field. The field must contain forename followed by a space and the surname of each lead diver. Don't worry about the evidence. Create a fully labeled report that displays the number of dives, and this is how this question coming up now, or this instruction coming up now is going to tell us, or give us a hint of how we know it's a crosstab. Okay, displays the number of dives taken by each lead diver from the boat. Use the name field, here we go, for row headings, and the boat names for column headings. So this instruction here, row headings, column headings, we know it's going to be a crosstab. And we do not include the row or column totals. So we're going to create a query first. So we go create, query design, add in the tables we need. And then the information, so it contains the dive number, it's the dive number, boat name, it's just boat in this question, and a new field called name, which contains the forename followed by space and then the surname. So forename, surname. So we don't need these tables, so I'm just going to remove them. There's still a relationship involved here, so this means we can use this. So we just hit run to see if we get information, which we are, so it's working. So we need to create a new field. So you can see there's the field row at the top. So if we want to create a new field, we go to empty block cell, and in this part we're going to type in our field that we want to create. So how it works is it's usually the name of the field first. So in this case ours is name, followed by a colon. And then remember, every time you mention a field, you've got to put square brackets around that field name. So we want, according to the question, forename space surname. So square bracket is the forename, followed by a space, so you can have the concatenate symbol. And then we put quotation mark, space, quotation mark for the space. And symbol again. And then the field surname. So it's forename space surname. So let's see if this works. Hit run. We can see here that the name field has got the forename followed by the surname. Alright, so that takes care of this. So let's see if we remove the surname and forename and hit run. You can see it's still showing the name field, so that's fine. So remember that in your crosstab you want at least 3 fields. So you're going to have, obviously the 2 you're going to have is going to be number of dives taken by each lead diver. So here we go, they say the name field is going to be the one field we have to have, and the boat name. We've got to display the number of dives. So we have 3 fields at least. The 2 fields for our row and column headings, as you see here. And the third one is the field that you're going to use to either add or average or do the calculation that we need. So they say the number of dives. Okay, so the hint was they allowed us to put in the dive number, so they gave us a hint of what we're going to use to count the number of dives taken by each of these lead divers from the boat. So these are the 3 fields we're going to have. We're going to have to use the dive number, which is going to help us to count how many dives each lead diver has taken from a boat. And then the boat and the name, which are going to form our row and column headings. So that's all we're going to do in this query. So to create the crosstab, we go to create at the top, query wizard, save it, crosstab option. Now we read. So it says which table query contains the fields you want to use for the crosstab, etc. So you see we created query 6. So click on queries, it's query 6. The next. What are our row headings. So they tell us over here the name field for row headings. So click on name, take it across, and here's the names here. Next, the column headings. So they mention that too. It's going to be the boat names. So that's boat. You can see that the column headings are boat 1, boat 2, boat 3, etc. Next, now what number do you want calculated for each column and row intersection? So we want to count, they say here, the number of dives taken by each lead diver. So we are counting the number of dives by each lead diver. So that will just vary sometimes with the average or the sum, etc. You just choose whatever it is here basically, but you can see this is counting. There's no sum or anything here at the moment, or average, etc. So do not include the row or column totals. So we can untick this box here. Go next, and we can give it an appropriate title. So this is just going to be the number of dives taken by each lead diver from each boat, basically. It's the number of dives taken by each lead diver from each boat. And there we go. So this is our table. And see if there's anything else we have to do. So create a fully labeled report. So once we have our crosstab like this, we can just click on report now, because this crosstab is done. Click on report to make it into a report, and then just remember to resize everything so that everything is visible and fits within these dotted lines. So if you don't need any totals, etc., so they're counting how many names are here, 15, we don't really need that, so we can remove this part. But that is it. So that is question 6 complete. Please let me know if you need any help.